Now to do some printing. So I've got a pile of planes. I've got some partially done prints that need more layers. I've got some little pieces of planes that I've printed up at another time, and I just want to add a few more things to them just to give them more interest. Part of the part of the sheet I've cut off and I keep as a plane because sometimes they come in handy. And here's a few that I've been sort of building up a few layers on. As for paints, I find that I need to limit the colours that I have out, otherwise it gets very chaotic. So what I do, I've grouped my papers into different colour groups, and I've got out the paints that I feel will go with that colour group, and I'll work with only that for a time and then move on to the next colour grouping. I just find that I get too overwhelmed if I've got so many paint, every single paint that I own out on the table at one time. I also get out some of the neutrals and the complementary of the colour group that I want to start working with. So when it comes to doing the actual jelly printing, I have my jelly plate sitting on a really heavy piece of glass, and I really can't tell you where I got it from. I've had it for a long time. I've just put some tape around the edges so it wasn't sharp, and also so I can see where the edges are. I find this is wonderful if you can actually do this, because it's very heavy and the plate doesn't move when you're working with it. As far as workspace goes, I strongly suggest that you have it covered with something and that you realize you will get splatters. As you're brayering paint, it does splatter. So if you're wanting to protect your work surface, you need to cover it with something. So I start all my jelly prints with an overall cover of colour in that first layer, and I never use one paint, one colour. I always use a mixture of 2 or 3 colours to give it a kind of a mottled effect, and it starts the layering really well. When it comes to layering, I must say that I very rarely do many layers on my prints. I'm quite happy with the prints that I get, often with 1 or 2 layers. And these are journal pages that I've made, and all of these were done with a single pull. But because I've used a combination of 3 different colours, we get that lovely mottled effect. This one was also a single pull, and because it had a little bit of blue still on the plate, when I added the browns, it pulled all of the colour up, and I really love that. I think that is great collage paper in itself. It doesn't really need anything else. And how your print looks, even if you use the same 3 colours over and over, the amount you use of each changes the look. I have a few here that I'm not quite sure if I want to put any more on them, and sometimes it's really hard to make a decision with the border still on it, all this white still on it, and cutting that away can be really helpful in seeing the whole print. So I've trimmed them up. This one, I think maybe a little bit more of this orange might be helpful. This one I'm really liking, and I don't know if you can see that. This is that coffee cup and the lovely wavy lines that prints up. And this one, I don't know, maybe a little bit more blue, but not a lot. and I was a bit disappointed that the camera wasn't actually running, but I added some stencils. I looked at this and thought I saw some words, so I bought in this sort of Roman or Latin script and a little bit of this crackled stencil effect in there. I think it's just added some lovely elements to this piece. That was a quick look at my jelly printing process. I got a few new pieces of collage material out of it. Often my jelly printing sessions will be a couple of hours and I just papers galore. I hope this has given you some ideas or built some interest in jelly printing. If you don't already have one, they're just so much fun. So I'll leave it here. Thanks for watching and bye for now.